गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev Jai Gurudev हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्णा। वी आर रीडिंग फ्रॉम We are reading today from Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 5, entitled The Cause of All Causes, text 34. Varshapuga sahasrante tad andam udakeshayam kalakarma swabhavastho जीवो जीवम अजीवयत्। वर्षपूगा सहस्रान्ते तद अंडम उदकेशयम् कालकर्म स्वभावस्थो जीवो जीवम अजीवयत्। वर्षपूगा सहस्रान्ते तद अंडम उदकेशयम् कालकर्म स्वभावस्थो जीवो जीवम अजीवयत्। माताजी। वर्षपूगा सहस्रान्ते जीवो जीवम अजीवयत्। वर्षपूगा सहस्रान्ते तदंडम उदकेशयम् कालकर्म स्वभावस्थो जीवो जीवम अजीवयत्। Word to word meaning. Varshapuga, many years. Sahasrante, of thousands of years. Tat, that. Andam, the universal globe. Udake, in the causal water. Shayam, being drowned. Kala, eternal time. Karma, action. Swabhavastha, according to the modes of nature. Jiva, the Lord of living beings. Ajivam, non-animated. Ajivayat, caused to be animated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Thus, all the universes remained thousands of eons within the water, the causal ocean, and the Lord of living beings, entering in each of them caused them to be fully animated. Purport. The Lord is described here as the Jiva because he is the leader of all other Jivas, living entities. In the Vedas, he is described as Nitya, the leader of all other Nityas. The Lord's relation with the living entities is like that of the Father with the sons. The sons and the Father are qualitatively equal, but the Father is never the Son, nor is the Son ever the Father who begets. So, as described above, the Lord as Garbhodakshayi Vishnu or Hiranyagarbha Supersoul enters into each and every universe and causes it to be animated by begetting the living entities within the womb of material nature, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 14.3. After each annihilation of material creation, all the living entities are merged within the body of the Lord, and after creation, they are again impregnated within the material energy. In the material existence, therefore, the material energy is seemingly the mother of the living entities, and the Lord is the Father. When, however, the animation takes place, the living entities revive their own natural activities under the spell of time and energy. And thus, the varieties of living beings are manifested. The Lord, therefore, is ultimately the cause of all animation in the material world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamcha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschate Deshtarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna. So before starting, I seek blessings of all devotees so that I speak in proper parampara with right attitude for my own purification and glorification of the Lord and pleasure of devotees. So this chapter, the title is The Cause of All Causes. And in this verse, I will just repeat translation once again. Thus, all the universes remained thousands of eons within the waters. Thus all universes remained thousands of eons within the water, the causal ocean, and the Lord of living beings entering in each of them caused them to be fully animated. So now actually this same creation is described in third canto also, similar, almost same. It is actually discussion between Vidura and Maitreya, where Maitreya also explains about this creation. So it is explained in third canto initial 5, 6, 7 chapters. We'll see some of the verses there. So this stage is actually when Karnodakshay Vishnu, all of you know that picture where Karnodakshay Vishnu is lying on the Karan ocean or causal ocean, and when he exhales, so exhalation usually we understand from nose, but Karnodakshay Vishnu, he exhales with the nose also, and his pores also they exhale. And when he exhales, all the universes are created. And when universes are created, so they are initially in the causal ocean. And then Karnodakshay Vishnu or Mahavishnu, he enters each of the each of the universe. And there in every universe also, there is again creation. So just like in our body, because soul is there, our body is moving, or consciousness is there because of soul. We are alive because of soul, consciousness. So similarly, in every universe is in inactive state for many years, actually, thousands of years. And when Karnodakshay Vishnu, in the form of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, he enters every universe, then that universe gets life, which is what is explained in this verse. And then subsequent creation starts. Brahma, he comes out of the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and then subsequently Visarga, the secondary creation by Brahmaji, continues. And those living entities who are inside the body of Vishnu, Mahavishnu or Garbhodakshay Vishnu, they become alive once again, and all the 84 lakh species, they come into existence as per their previous desires, when at the time of dissolution or annihilation, whatever their desire was, with that desire they were merged in the body, and they were like asleep. And when again creation took place, they revived their whatever state of desires they were having, and with those desires, all the creations, all the different bodies, they enter into different bodies as per their desires. So basically, actually, many times this question comes, why? So here, as per this purport of Prabhupada, the reason for different varieties, what? Based on the past desires. And these all varieties, they exist simultaneously. There is no thing such as evolution. There is, we falsely understand that initially amoeba or some other thing was there, and then by gradual evolution, all other species, they evolved. But this is actually wrong understanding. All the species, they exist simultaneously. And why that gradation is there, why those different species are there, on what basis they get those particular bodies, that particular body is based on, simple answer is based on their desire or based on their past karma. And when actually it began, it is beginningless. It is since time immemorial. So we'll just see the third canto, 6th chapter, verse 2nd and 3rd. There also this similar thing is given. And in purport, Prabhupada very nicely explains how different species, they come in 3, 6, So in this verse, just take the translation. So please forgive, it may be boring for you, but we are going to just go through the purports and translation. So here the Supreme Powerful Lord then simultaneously entered into 23 elements with the goddess Kali, his external energy, who alone amalgamates all different elements. So this Durga, she assembles, assembly is done by her, and all the elements, when they come together, different bodies are formed. So next verse we take. Next verse is So in this verse now, thus when Supreme Personality of Godhead entered into elements by his energy, all the living entities were enlivened in two different activities, just as one is engaged in his work after awakening from the sleep. So this verse and this verse, they are similar actually. And one more thing, actually, whatever descriptions about creations are there in either in second canto, third canto, or creation of this particular universe explanation is given in fifth canto. All of them they are consistent. There is not inconsistency in the explanation. But on the contrary, whatever scientists they propose theories, they are all inconsistent. One scientist says something, then second scientist he refutes or he has some another theory. So based on this inconsistency, it is we can very easily accept this Bhagavatam version of creation. Even so Bhagavatam version, it is because it is consistent, it is coming from the Lord directly, explained by Brahma in Parampara, it is coming in Parampara, and because it is consistent, we can very easily put faith and accept this version. But scientists, they may have different theories, they may propose newer and newer theory of creation, because they are under the modes of material nature. Those theories are wrong actually. So in this, Prabhupada very nicely explains this last part of the purport which is explained here. So we'll just go through this. So every individual soul remains unconscious after the dissolution of the creation and thus enters into the Lord with his material energy. These individual living entities are conditioned souls everlastingly, but in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. So, what is the... So here, Prabhupada is writing that these souls are, living beings are conditioned souls everlastingly. Everlastingly means till the time they are in this material world, they will be conditional. It doesn't mean that they will remain eternally in the material world. No, it is not the case. That since till the time they remain in this material world, then till that time they will be conditional. So if they decide or if they act as per their independent desires, then they will have to continue this journey in the material world in different bodies. But in each and every material creation, they are given a chance to liberate themselves and become free souls. So Lord, He doesn't give up. He creates and gives once again chance. So basically purpose of this material creation is what? Is to give us opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. And this opportunity is given to everybody. they are all given a chance to take advantage of Vedic wisdom and find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. So actually, this is nothing but just so they are all given a chance to take advantage of Vedic wisdom. So they are all given a chance, and that chance is given through this Vedic literature. We say Vedas are like manual, the information of how to live in this world and how to get out of this world is given. And Prabhupada writes here that they are all given chance to find out what is their relationship with the Supreme Lord. This is basically nothing but Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan, these the three things. What is their relationship with the Supreme Lord, how they can be liberated, and what the ultimate profit is in such liberation. By properly studying the Vedas, one becomes conscious of his position and thus takes to the transcendental devotional service of the Lord and is gradually promoted to spiritual sky. So, when one takes to devotional service, he has the opportunity to go back home, back to Godhead. The individual souls in the material world engage in different activities according to their past unfinished desires. So usually when we revive our consciousness after the creation, usually we have unfulfilled desires, we continue with those desires. And usually what those desires are nothing but to become controller, to become independent, trying to become independent, gratifying senses. After the dissolution of a particular body, the individual soul forgets everything. But all merciful Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart as witness, the super soul awakens him and reminds him of his past desires, and thus he begins to act accordingly in his next life. This unseen guidance is described as fate, and a sensible man can understand that this continues his material bondage in the three modes of nature. So, the Lord as a super soul, he reminds us what our desires, past desires were, and then accordingly we act in the next life. And basically it all happens under the modes of material nature. Next. The unconscious sleeping stage of the living entity just after the partial or total dissolution of the creation is wrongly accepted as the final stage of life by some less intelligent philosophers. So actually, when soul enters when annihilation takes place, soul is in the body of Garbhodakshayi Vishnu or Karnadokshayi Vishnu, ultimately. So, for thousands of years, the soul is in the sleeping state, just like we sleep in the night for 12 hours, night for 8 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, whatever. So, and when we get up, actually we know, based on our desire last night or till the night, we have some temporary identity as our particular name, body, male, female. So we understand when we get up, we continue with that. So similarly, here also soul is sleeping state for actually many thousands of many years. So many times Prabhupada is writing, they misunderstand. After death, what is there? Everything is finished. We are, so there is nothing. So this misunderstanding Prabhupada is clarifying here in this line, that the unconscious sleeping stage of the living entity just after the partial or total dissolution. Even partial dissolution at the time of Brahma's sleep night, or even his whole lifetime, or even the total material creation when Karnodakshay Vishnu inhales within his body. So these different dissolutions, at that time soul is in the sleeping state for some particular period. So that they misunderstand, the wrongly accepted as the final stage of life by some less intelligent philosophers. After the dissolution of the partial material body, a living being, a living entity remains unconscious for only a few months, and after the total dissolution of the material creation, he remains unconscious for many millions of years. So when this body is annihilated, this particular body, that time is a kind of dissolution. That time also we are in unconscious state for some period, or even for millions of years we are unconscious at the time of total dissolution. But when the creation is again revived, he is awakened to his work by the Lord. The living entity is eternal, and the wakeful state of his consciousness manifested by his activities is his natural condition of life. He cannot stop acting while awake, and thus he acts according to his diverse desires. When his desires are trained in the transcendental service of the Lord, his life becomes perfect and he is promoted to the spiritual sky to enjoy eternal awakened life. So, in this purport, Prabhupada has given the complete understanding about material creation, what is the purpose. So, what is the purpose? Purpose is to use Vedas and understand what is our relationship, what is the process to get out, and the aim is to get liberated. And the Prabhupada is writing this last line, when his desires are trained. So usually when we are not having knowledge about the soul or the spiritual sky or the existence of the Lord, existence of the eternal life, then one misunderstands this temporary body as all in all, and he tries to enjoy on the either on the gross level or subtle level. But when he understands, then his desires are trained. So problem is our desires, and desires are trained in the transcendental service of the Lord, devotional service of the Lord. And when we get Bhakti Lata Bij, so that is the process of getting into devotional service. So Bhakti Lata Bij also, we were reading in purport, Bhakti Lata Bij, Prabhupada very nicely explains that this Bhakti Lata Bij is nothing but methods, rules and regulations for one to get perfectly trained in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. So this Bhakti Lata Bij is nothing but methods, rules and regulations about training these desires in the right direction of service of the Lord. And then our life becomes perfect and he is promoted to the spiritual sky to enjoy eternal awakened life. So this purport I just wanted to go through to understand the purpose and purpose of this creation. So this chapter, the title is The Cause of All Causes. So devotees, they accept Lord as the cause of all causes in their life or even in material world. But non-devotees, for them, they don't understand that Lord is behind all this, whatever material nature or whatever is happening in this world. They don't accept Lord as the cause. Sometimes they say material nature is acting independently and by chance everything is working. But this is not correct. And we see when pure devotees in Bhagavatam, when pure devotees they pray, they offer prayer when they meet Lord or they realize the Lord. When they offer prayers, the first prayer, so prayers they have different elements when they pray. So first prayer, the first element of the prayer necessarily is about the how Lord acts as the creator, maintainer, and annihilator. So all the devotees they have this knowledge about the Lord's acting as a creator, maintainer, and annihilator. So this is very important. So in first canto, just like in first canto, Kunti Maharani he offers prayers to the Lord. So the first prayer is, what is the first prayer? Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishvara Prakrite Paraha Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antar Bahir Avasthitam. So Antar Bahir Avasthitam. So he is everywhere, inside and outside. And specifically, Kunti Maharani, when she is offering this prayer, Lord Krishna was standing in front of her. But same Lord Krishna, he entered inside the womb of Uttara. He saved King Parikshit. And he is also standing in front of her. So, she was very much surprised or amazed by this fact. And so in her prayer, she is explains the same thing, that you are present everywhere, you are here in front of me, but at the same time you are everywhere, and you, same Lord, entering inside the womb of Uttara, you saved the King Parikshit. Or similarly, Dhruva Maharaj also, he offers same prayer, similar prayer about the Lord's being the creator, or Pratu Maharaj, or demigods. So all the devotees, they accept this fact that Lord is cause of all causes. But for non-devotees, because they are under illusion, because of Maya, they think Lord either as a normal being, or everything is happening by chance, or just under the material nature. There is no control of Lord behind this. So in Bhagavad Gita also this, so one question may come that why we have to understand this material creation. Yesterday also Adi Gopal Prabhu he explained very nicely that when we study this, the primary or the main objective is to understand how we can get out of this material world, or how this body or our existence is temporary, and we can focus on our goal, which is to realize the Lord and get out of this material world. So this fact is also explained in Bhagavad Gita in 13th chapter, where Lord explains about the soul, material nature, super soul, which is Lord's expansion as Paramatma. So we'll just go through some of the verses of Bhagavad Gita which explains the similar fact. It is 13th chapter. So all the complete chapter, it explains, Arjuna asks about the soul, material nature, Prakriti. 13.21. And in this chapter, Krishna even says that one who understands this properly, he will not once again come to this material world, but he will be liberated. So we'll just try to go through these purports. They are very... I think few days back, Prabhuji Sujay Govind Prabhu had explained this verse, but still. So nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. So actually, one more important question. So when we understand that there was past life, we acted in wrong way, we developed wrong desires, because of that now we are in this current situation. So when we understand this, we accept that only ourself, only myself is, only I am responsible for my own suffering and happiness. Because many times we try to blame either to other people around us, or situation, or time, or ultimately Lord. Many times when difficulties, sufferings come in our life, we tend to blame. But actually, whatever suffering and happiness comes to us in our life, we are individually responsible. There is no involvement either of other people or time. So this purport, same thing is explained, just we'll go through it. The different manifestations of body and senses among the living entities are due to material nature. So are due to material nature means, it is not just material nature, it began with our desire. So according to our desire, material nature is just facilitating, and ultimately behind material nature, Lord is facilitating those desires. So there are 84 lakh different species of life, and these varieties are creations of the material natures. So these varieties are created by material natures, but it began with our independent desire. They arise from different sensual pleasures of the living entity. So these sensual pleasures of living entity, from that it begins. Who thus desires to live in this body or that? Who desires to live in this temporary body and try to enjoy different sensual pleasures? When he is put into different bodies, he enjoys different kinds of happiness and distress. His material happiness and distress are due to his body and not to himself as he is. So this material happiness and distress is due to body, and it has nothing to do with our soul, the spirit soul. In his original state, there is no doubt of enjoyment. So ultimately, there is no doubt of enjoyment, therefore that is his real state. So ultimately, everybody is trying to be happy in this world. But what is problem? Everybody is trying to be happy either in gross way or subtle way. And because of that, nobody is happy. So on gross level, I will be happy till the time that object is body is in touch with the object of sense gratification. So till that time, I will be happy. Let's say I am eating, I eat gulab jamun. Till the time I am in touch, the tongue is in touch with that object, till the time we derive happiness. Or for that matter, any gross happiness. Till the time we are in touch, we will feel happiness. But what is the problem? When I am away from that object, that hankering, it increases. Just like when in this example we understand. When we put ghee in the fire, again it increases. So similarly, the more we try to enjoy, the more that hankering it increases, and we will never be happy. Or on the subtle level, at the level of mind, we try to become happy. But ultimate happiness, we have to understand, at least theoretically, that it is only possible at the level of soul, and that too as a servant of Krishna or devotees. So this is very important. If we don't understand, then we have to continue in this material world. So there is there is no doubt of enjoyment. Therefore, that is his real state. So ultimately, real happiness is at the level of spirit, at the level of soul, and not on the gross or subtle level. Because of the desire to lord it over material nature, he is in the material world. In the spiritual world, there is no such thing. The spiritual world is pure, but in material world, everyone is struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. So, what is the main problem? Because of desire to lord it over material nature. So, everybody tries to become the lord of this material nature, and because of that, we are there in this material world, and we are struggling hard to acquire different kinds of pleasures for the body. It might be more clear to state that this body is the effect of the senses. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. So ultimately it starts with desire. As per our desire, we have senses and accordingly body. The senses are instruments for gratifying desire. Now the sum total body and instrument senses is offered by material nature, and as will be clear in the next verse, the living entity is blessed or damned with circumstances according to his past desire and activity. According to one's desires and activities, material nature places one in various residential quarters. The being himself is the cause of his attaining such residential quarters and his attendant enjoyment or suffering. Once placed in some particular kind of body, he comes under the control of nature, because the body, being matter, acts according to the laws of nature. At that time, the living entity has no power to change that law. Actually, this is very interesting. Suppose an entity is put into body of a dog. As soon as he is put into the body of dog, he must act like a dog. He cannot act otherwise. If the living entity is put into the body of hog, then he is forced to eat stool and act like a dog and act like a hog. Similarly, if the living entity is put into body of a demigod, he must act according to his body. So, actually this is very important for us to understand. Now I may be in this human body, but if I work in such a way that if I get the body of dog or hog, then I don't have choice. I have to act like a dog. The same soul, if it degrades based on the workings and desires, based on the work, if same soul goes in the body, that machine is such that it will act like that only. Because the body of hog is made in such a way that it will naturally be attracted to the stool, or dog will act in that particular way. So it is very important for us to understand basically that we have to be very careful with our desires. And as he explained yesterday, Adi Gopal Prabhu very nicely, that there is problem in, I think he explained, there is problem in subtle software. We have to change. He gave example of kitchen. We have to change that grocery. Tukda kaju. So actually this may appear very funny, but just imagine, I am in this human body and next life is dog or hog. It is very horrible even to think. But by mercy of Prabhupada, now what is our position? Our position is, by mercy of Prabhupada, we have got the right process, very easy process. What we have to do? There is, the process is very simple. We have to chant, we have to read, do the seva, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Navvida, Bhakti. Practice it very nicely. It is susukham. Every day we have to do. But most important thing is, it should be offenseless. So we have to be very careful when we are dealing with devotees on day-to-day basis. We interact with devotees. So we have to be very careful that if we identify some anartha or problem, we have to pray to Lord, spiritual master, Prabhupada, to give us strength to overcome that. Otherwise, process, we are very fortunate, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata base. We have got this opportunity, a rare opportunity by the mercy of Prabhupada. We should take full advantage by every day reading Prabhupada's books, by chanting and associating with devotees, and try to avoid the offenses. Few days back, Mahatma Prabhu, he was explaining that when we even endeavor to avoid the offenses means we have some hope. When we detect that I am committing offenses, my behavior is not right, even though we may struggle to behave in a right way, at least we should confess, we should beg forgiveness, we should forgive other devotees, and we should try to practice this bhakti, specifically chanting, reading of Prabhupada's purports. And then we can be happy in Krishna consciousness and as much as possible try to spread this mission. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.